What's the deal, YouTube? It's your boy Next Gen 720 and I'm back with another video. Oh my, back with another video, and I think this is so funny. What you say? How you say the hypocrisy? Now, and this I'm not even trying to pour more fire. I'm gonna say more fuel to the fire because like I gotta say this, man. Like I told you guys before, this is not beef. This is YouTube. If something was going to happen, you don't argue over the internet. You make your way to come see somebody and offer to pay for that man's ticket. And I'm done with that. I'm just saying they can sit around and talk about me in 1,000 Skype calls and talk about me, my PC, my 2-year-old child. I don't even care. But I'm just saying, I see you when I see you, but whatever. But I just think it's funny. Certain, Facebook group does a video about the hypocrisy, about, how people give him flack over his opinion. And, when he was making videos about Nintendo or Microsoft, they loved him. When he said something about Sony, they they attack him. And when he said something about Grand Theft Auto, they attack him. Now, I'm gonna rewind this. Like I said, I never had a problem with that same group when I was saying things about Nintendo. They were who, and he was who, even he was who. When I started to say little things that I didn't like about Sony, you know what I mean? That's when I'm not keeping the game in. That's when I started getting attacked personally in that group. You know what I mean? I just think I think this is crazy. At the end of the day, I'm just saying you talking about people not respecting people's opinion. You should take your own advice. Not that I can't. I got my own group, and I used to, at the end of the day, doesn't give. But I just think it's crazy. Say that, like I said, only thing I ever posted in that group, or even on Facebook, some of you guys follow me. I barely post any photos, anything about myself. Anything I post is always about video games. In my opinion, or whatever the case. At the end of the day, what I eat don't make you guys shit. This is my opinion. And you can't argue me down with my opinion. You know what I mean? I don't give a fuck what. Like I said, men lie, women lie, numbers do not lie. Now, the numbers don't lie. But as far as my opinion, you can't argue me down with my opinion, the way I feel about something. I'm just being real. I don't give a fuck what. Like, I can't argue down with your opinion. You can't argue me down with my opinion. But he makes this video saying that the hypocrisy and he thinking about shutting down this group, because this is the fanboys in that group is getting out of hand. And I went to him when we were still on speaking terms, because you got people in his group would inbox me and say, "Hey, he gonna punch you in the face, he gonna beat you up." And I said, "Listen, man, first of all, can't nobody beat me on. I always said that he might beat me on YouTube. Like I'm just being real. That's what I feel. Like I ain't getting nothing to beat me. But and I was saying like you need to really holler at them jokers in your group because they got whole threads that were dedicated to me. Like they'll say, as long as you keep it gaming, you know what I mean. But at the end of the day, I don't care. But he's talking about the hypocrisy. You know what I mean? You want to first take your own advice, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Whatever the case may be, like I said, I've never only post about my opinion. I never post anything about anybody personally in there. Never any diss videos or troll videos. It was always about my opinion. But I'm not keeping the game in or whatever the case may be. Now they give him slack about whatever he said about Grand Theft Auto. And he wants to do, he wants to play the victim again. But at the end of the day, I'm done with it. I can care less. Like I said, they can sit around and talk about me in 1,000 Skype calls. What I think is crazy, there's no camaraderie here, with that, what you call the crumb side of YouTube. You know what I mean? They sit around and talk about me in Skype calls for hours, what I got, how I get this, how I can afford this, and my 2-year-old child. I'm not saying he's going to think about my 2-year-old child. I didn't hear that. But, they want me gone from YouTube. And, like I said before, it was that serious. I offered to pay that man's ticket, and we can put, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna leave that alone. Okay, I get you apple juice. You know what I mean? I can't say don't do no more about that. You know what I mean? But I just think it's, you do like I said, like I said before, that group there is full of a bunch of, like I said, you got all fans, but it's one thing to be a fan of a console, whatever the case may be. But when you come to them, you start attacking, people's, toddlers and result to racial remarks or slurs, then fine. Wait, next gen, you always say stuff about people's grandmothers, but look what they said to me first, okay? It's what you call cause and effect. And I'll leave the comments up so you guys can and read it and who I'm replying to and what I'm replying it for, okay? But anyway, I'm done with that. On to today's video. Now, I just think, I'm just being real. I'm just going to shed light to this because no one's seen, you know what I mean? So anyway, Sony gives an article today to Polygon, basically. Well, first, before I start the article about Polygon. Anyway, Sony. So if, which I think is crazy because it's not hard on Xbox. I'll tell you guys, a lot of you ponies were saying that the PlayStation Network is just as good as Xbox Live. So check this out right here, right? Enabling PS and ID changes is very technically complex. Yoshida can't confirm it. He's saying to change your gamer tag is hard. To change your PlayStation Network ID is technically it's a lot involved. And they won't, they won't pin them down to that. He won't give a yes or a no. He said there's a lot that goes into that. But they will give us the option to add our real name, you know what I mean? So if you want to be Luther Wright the Third instead of being Dark Death Destroyer, fine. But they're not going to give you the option to change your PlayStation Network ID, which I think sucks. Microsoft charges us about $5 or $4, or it was 400 Microsoft points at the time. It was about $5 to change your gamer tag, you know what I mean? Or if you pick a gamer tag, you have 30 days to change it, to keep it, whatever the case may be. And you're still not giving us the option with the PlayStation 4. Go figure. Also, now this is what alarmed me, honestly. And again, I don't know. Like I said before, this is what alarms me with as far as Sony, and this is what I have a problem with right here. Yeah. Sony defends. Well, I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna edit copy. I'll bring it up right here. This is what bothers me. Like I said before, I don't buy a next generation console to play a bunch of cheap ass indie cell phone games. I mean, the arcade cool, but I've been doing that shit for years on my Xbox 360. I'm buying a next generation console to see the envelope pushed, to see that next big thing. And I'm sorry, indie games are not that next big thing. I'm just being real. You may get a diamond, you might get 1 out of 1,000, or it's cool, but I'm just being real. But anyway, it says PS4 indies versus AAA. I don't see a divide, says Sony's indie man. The PlayStation 4 is treating indies and large AAA entities as one and the same, according to the man behind Sony's indie chart, Sahid Ahmad. He said the next wave of next-gen stars in the indie circuit, and he's keen on getting them on board. So they said they don't really see the difference between $10 pop cap games and AAA Killzone blockbusters or God of Wars. Like, is that a way to beat around the bush and say, hey, you know what? We ain't got it right now, but we got these indie games. I'm just being real. Like, no, Sony. I'll say it again. Like, where are these games? Like, at the end of the day, I'm not. You may have the rest of these jokers fool, whatever the case may be. You may not even like Microsoft games, and I don't even care. That's your opinion. I don't like them. You don't. But at the end of the day, what you eat don't make me shit, and vice versa. You know what I mean? But where are Sony's AAA exclusives? They don't have any. That's what bothers. They talk about still pumping this indie shit and saying, these indie games are AAA. No, they're not. You know what I mean? Nothing like going to the store, dropping $65 down, get your game, go home. Like, come on, man. It's not the same thing, man. Shit that I can play on my cell phone, like the shit you talk about, I don't even need a PlayStation 4 to play. I'm like just being real. So you got all this GDDR5 RAM to play indie games. I'm just being real. So why do I need a PlayStation 4? Just being real. You don't have any real exclusives, and you talking about these indie games that I can play on other platforms. Why do I need a PlayStation 4? The online is not as good as Xbox Live. Just being real. You don't have dedicated servers for gaming. You can't change your gamer tag. I can't, they are going to allow us to record over HDMI. They still have something about YouTube, but Lord knows when that's going to be. You know what I mean? They say they're going to keep us posted. I think what it is, Sony's going to make their own game capture card device. You know what I mean? And to try to capitalize on that market that you won't be able to do it unless you use theirs. Probably so, knowing Sony. You know what I mean? But I don't know. Like that right there pissed me off. You guys can spin it and say this. Now come on with the dumb. This is my opinion. Now I guarantee you, when you dumbass motherfuckers gonna be like, "What you gonna fuck you?" Instead of you arguing your opinion like you got some sense, you're gonna attack me personally, which I don't give a shit anyway. Because sticks and stones may break my bones, as long as your grandmother don't break up with me, it'll never hurt me. But anyway, I'm about to wrap this video up, and I just said what I had to say for the day. And what you bitch ass niggas, you can't beat me. Like, word up, man. I wish we could just have like a tough man contest, but everybody in the room go boop bop boop bop boop bop. Baddest man hit my hand. Anyway, I'm about to wrap this video up, and yeah, also too, like I was saying before, about Crimson Dragon is getting good reviews, and a lot of people like it. They're showing it at the Tokyo Game Show. That will be the second game that I play on my Xbox One. The first game I took before was going to be Killer Instinct. Second game is going to be Crimson Dragon. Third game is going to be either Rise. It's going to be Rise. Third game is going to be Rise. Fourth game is either be 2K or Battlefield. Either or. Then I'm not going to play Assassin's Creed 4 or Watch Dogs until the following day. Because I'm getting kind of late. I want to sit down and I'm going to do some unboxings. I may have what you call if you guys want to see. Depends on me you want to see. You know what I mean? Also, I got such a special plan for my channel too. This for the people that say I couldn't afford this and this. That. I got something real funny. I want to see your excuse. Then I but this I'm gonna do something real. This for you haters. Like I said, you guys can't count what's in my pocket. And I don't think I'm better than anybody on YouTube because I'm not. End of the day, I don't care what you play on, what you got, or what you can afford. That's never been my thing to sit and say I got this and you got that. At the end of the day, I don't care. You know what I mean? I don't. Honestly, I can give a rat's ass about a gaming PC, a gaming tab. I'm an Xbox dude. You know what I mean? I'm a console dude at heart. I don't give a fuck what. I'm just being real. I just like the simplicity of consoles. You know what I mean? I'm just being real. You buy a high-end PC. I see it now. You buy a high-end PC to play multiplats. PC exclusive is I don't care for them. They're kind of boring. So when I'm buying spend all this money on the PC to play multiplats. I don't care for the exclusives. I'm just being real. But anyway, I'm about to wrap this video. I went on for 12 minutes and 39 seconds. And as I always say, bang, bang. Damn! Damn, they say they always get the difference between indies and AAA games. I'm done with them jokers, man. Look at my cat. See, they rolling, they hating, them ponies trying to kiss me bad and dirty.